it's unfortunate the season ended the way it ended. I was one of those guys. I remember when Melo signed with Lakers. We had our pod. I was one of those guys that say, "Oh man, we can do big things. They can win 60 games. They won 33 games, man. I'm looking more crazy right now, man."
I just don't think he has it anymore.
Should any team want Carmelo Anthony?
Blasphemous.
Yes, sir, Carmelo.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Control the Narrative, a podcast where we control the narrative that the media creates. If you're new around here, subscribe to catch our weekly podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And if you're a returner, a subscriber, or better yet, a Control the Narrative member, like these three fine gentlemen are joining us tonight, we appreciate you a little bit more. Real quick off the bat, I'm a little congested. Last week, I wasn't feeling too hot. And turns out I caught a little COVID. So Tuesday through Friday, I was pretty much knocked out. So going to rely on these three guys a little bit more than I normally do, just like I did last week. But with that being said, I'd like to welcome to the show. First off, I'm going to do shit a little different. Usually I just say everyone's name, but let's go top right, Joe. Joe, how you feeling tonight, bro?
Good, how you be?
Good, man. Doing all right.
I'll be feeling better. Good to see you again.
I appreciate that, bro. It's been it was a rough week for me last week. No Lakers basketball, and then I was sick, so it was really rough for me. DeMar, top bottom right. How you feeling, bro? It's been a minute. I was saying we've been trying to get you on for a minute, but
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be back. I'm feeling good.
I feel like now's a good time to get you back on. And then bottom left, we got the dude who always looks like the host when he comes on the show, Kenny. Kenny, what's going on, bro?
Good, man.
Boy, bro. All right, cool. Let's kick this shit off. I just said before we clicked record, I was like, yo, we've been talking about the Lakers a shit ton, so going to try to talk about them a little less just to kind of save our mental health, at least for tonight. DeMar, I know his mental health is going to be a little crazy over the next few weeks, but Joe, we'll start with you in the top right. One thing, I was kind of reflecting a little bit on Lakers, Melo, and I have some thoughts, obviously I'll say at the end, but to you, when you look back at this Lakers Melo chapter of his career, obviously we don't know for sure that it's over, but I think we all hope it's over. In your opinion, Lakers Melo will be remembered as what?
In my opinion, be remembered as a guy who came in on a minimum deal and did what he's supposed to do. Come off the bench, give him firepower, hit big shots, be a good man, be a good teammate on out the court, and did his thing. It's just really unfortunate that he didn't get the necessary minutes that he just needed to really shine like he would want to do or needed to do for the Lakers to win more games. But I think in his limited role, especially in the beginning, in the middle of the season, he played well, man. And as you can see, towards the end of the season, his minutes start to dwindle down for various reasons. The Lakers never had a straight lineup with consistency. It was always different every other game, however you want to put it. No continuity for the team, man. It was just bad. But Lakers Melo can remember he probably was a fan favorite. The fans love Melo.
Big time.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's unfortunate the season ended the way it ended. I was one of those guys. I remember when Melo signed with Lakers. We had our pod. I was one of those guys that say, "Oh man, we can do big things. They can win 60 games. They won 33 games, man. I'm looking more crazy right now, man."
A lot of people thought that shit, Joe.
It was such a bad season, man. And like my man said earlier, man, from the jump, that Westbrook, man, wasn't a good fit, man. It just was. It wasn't. It went all down here from there. So yeah, but Lakers Melo for this season, he remember it as a crowd favorite. He did what he's supposed to do on a minimum deal. That's my take.
Fair enough. DeMar, from an outsider's perspective, obviously you didn't watch the Lakers every single game. Props to you. What do you think Lakers Melo is going to be remembered as?
Selfishly, I hope it's not. I hope it's a blip on the radar. I hope he leaves there and he gets to go back to doing what he was doing. I think even the role he had in Portland was way more impactful than what I'd rather see him do that for a team like Portland than be what happened in LA. So selfishly, I hope it's not remembered. I hope it's just Melo took the year, stayed in the league, got the cardio, and he's ready to go somewhere else and get back to the game himself, being honest.
We saw a lot of cardio Melo this year. Fair enough.
That's a good point too. Yep.
Kenny, what do you think?
Underused. I don't think they used him enough. And then it's like when he got going, they take him out, or he sit him at the end of the bench in big moments when they could have used him. You know, at fourth quarter or end of games, you know, he's clutch, man. He's proven it time and time again. But
I still wish he hit that fucking shot in Houston.
I don't know what it is with these coaches, man.
To win it. Yeah.
They just don't use him, man. I don't know. It's just like they like sitting him on the bench and looking down and seeing he's just sitting here. I guess it's just like, oh, we got him.
Yeah.
Look down and I got Melo.
Just so they don't have to worry about him on the other team, right?
Right. So no one, I guess.
You know who followed that? You know who followed that was? That was Terry Stotts. I mean Frank Vogel. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe's been calling him Stats 2.0 all year.
That's pretty much what it is, man. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he was appreciated enough as he should have been.
Agreed.
Like, the fans, everybody did.
Out there,
as far as
Exactly, man. What you put on the floor, man, compared to waking Marine to the table, known as a clutch shooter, yet you want to go away from him and let him sit doing crucial times in the games, man. I don't understand that.
Even if you just wanted like a floor spacer as a decoy.
Yeah.
It didn't make a lot of basketball sense while he was sitting there with the pieces that the Lakers were running out there early on.
That was his best use this year. He was a hell of a decoy out there on the court when he played those 18 minutes a game towards the end of the year. I agree with everyone. I think I was gonna say what Joe said, like a dude who came in and did his part. Like there's so many people you can point the finger at, and we've been talking about this for the past few weeks. From LeBron to Westbrook to AD to Vogel, Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan, so many guys on the team. But one of the few guys on the team who you cannot point the finger at is Melo, and it just sucks because obviously, you know, there were high expectations from this team, and for Melo to come on this team, take another backseat, and you know, to do his part and it not work out. Not because of him, but because of pretty much everyone else on the team. That shit sucks. And, like, obviously it's better that than, like, the other way around if Melo missed, like, a game winner in Game 7 of the finals or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I think it's just he came and did his part, and the franchise failed him from the front office to the coach to the players.
Do you think it was a upper management deal as to why his minutes started to dwindle from the beginning, or you think it was a coaching situation, or a combination of both?
You guys have any thoughts?
I don't know. Maybe something with the coaching. I don't know about upper management. I don't think they had anything to do with it. I think it's more with the coaching. Like they didn't know how to incorporate them in key moments. They were trying. It's like they were so focused on making everybody else happy, and like trying not to. I don't know. Like messed up with Westbrook and all of them. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can see
like
that.
Everything was like the focal point was like everything was surrounded by Westbrook. LeBron was being LeBron. AD was sitting in his street clothes as always. And then you got, you know, Melo sitting there looking like, yo, I'm here.
Well, can we all agree that this is by far the worst season Russell has had his whole NBA career? Can you guys think of one season that was this bad for Westbrook?
Not even Washington. He still was playing pretty.
I mean, stat wise, it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, you look at the stats and it's not terrible.
Right, exactly.
Is it
watch
bad because it was under a microscope?
Maybe.
Because I think you got to remember too, like 50% of the NBA people is casuals, and they watch box scores and they watch Sports Center highlights. So were they just seeing the triple-double highlights every night and not seeing – because they'll tell you 30, 10, and 10, but they don't tell you the 8 turnovers, and they don't show them to you where he dribbled the ball off his knee. You know, he kicked the ball out of bounds or he threw it out of bounds. And so I would have to go back and look because this might really be him. And I think so when you play next to LeBron James and every night's game is dissected for an hour on every sports show, maybe that's why it seemed like it was a lot worse. This might have just been it. When you're in OKC sneaking into an 8th seed, people ain't watching you as hard as they were this year when you have expectations to win a championship. So this might have been him for the last few years.
Yeah,
Fair.
That's a fair point. I've watched quite a few several games, Laker game this year, man, and it was bad that to see him shoot his back out the glass shot and miss the whole entire rim, and hit the top of the backboard several times.
Mm-hmm.
To see him miss point blank layups.
Yeah.
To see him be clumsy with the ball, like careless turnovers, time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad to watch. I think the pressure from being in LA and being back home, it took its toll on him. And you can see in this game, it been games where he was scared to shoot the jump shot, 15-footer. He was scared. He rather defer when he deferred the turnover because he's so hesitant to shoot the ball. His confidence is gone. And it all played a factor in his whole psyche, man, I think, as the season wore on.
No, you're right on that. That was the weirdest part. Seeing Russell Westbrook fight himself.
Yes.
His thing has always been he's the most confident dude in any room, and kind of seeing him battle his own self on nights is wild. Because when you hit inside of the backboard almost 3 times a game, it is kind of
that's embarrassing, man. I've done that a couple.
It's something mentally that's messing with you because you're not where you wanted to be as far as on a game by game basis.
Yeah. And it's crazy, man. To this point, like, what if you look at the stats, like, he didn't have a terrible year stat wise, and compared to DeMar's point, what he did the rest of his career, like field goal percentage, higher than last year. 3-point percentage, almost he had 29.8% versus 31, but he shot 25%, he shot 29, he shot 29. So it's just weird how all that should happen, but at the end of the day, him obviously not living up to his contract and to what they thought he was going to be on this team sucks because Melo didn't win a championship. But
yo, real quick, sorry to interrupt if you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, but just wanted to let you know that we have merch at Control the Narrative, and it's pretty fire in my opinion. This is the Pixel Melo t-shirt that I'm rocking. Anything from Cuse Melo to New York Melo, Hoodie Melo. On this shirt, we got Scapegoat merch, we got Blackball merch, we got just regular Control merch. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, beanies, stickers. Shop CTRL the Narrative.com. I think I got my point across. Go check it out. I bet you'll find something you like. Appreciate the support as well. Obviously, the merch sales help us fund these podcast episodes that we get to record every single week. So appreciate you. And back to the show.
For the second question, we'll go to DeMar on this one. I think I know. I have a weird feeling I know what he's going to say for this, but what team, now that we know the Lakers were not the right team for Melo, what team do you think Melo should have joined last summer?
He should have came with us. And I've said this multiple times. And if he does end up with us, I will have more jerseys than my man down here. He should have came with us. Like the way that we use our second unit, the way that we use our team, like us in the fourth quarter, we're already like with spacing and everything. There's no reason why, with his game and what he does now, there's no reason why. We're running out Frank Kaminsky early in the season. You mean tell me Melo can't play the Frank Kaminsky minutes? Like, there's no reason why he shouldn't have been with us if he was really chasing the championship. I know his friend called him, but he should have came with us.
And imagine how Chris Paul would have used them compared to the Bucks.
Ooh, that'd have been nice too.
Crazy.
Yes.
The 10 games we saw in Houston, again, Melo didn't play his best 10 games of his fucking career, but those two obviously have a special connection.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Our team has no problem with mid-range shots. You know what I mean? We don't try to run it out of our game plan. We actually run plays to get the open mid-range shot. Chris Paul, a high pick and roll between Melo and Chris Paul. He should have came with us, man.
They got the defender.
It's almost just tailor-made. It's sad.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Sure.
Kenny, you agree? You think it should have been Phoenix or somewhere else?
Sixers.
Everyone's just gonna say their hometowns. Right now.
Philly, huh?
Doc would have used them, man. They could have used the bench. They're scoring off the bench. They didn't really have a bench last year. So
But you know who's the president?
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's why I knew that wasn't going to happen. But Phoenix, most definitely. I definitely would have no problem with him going Phoenix. So, that's him and Chris Paul together. It's crazy to think about.
Bro, we saw
a glimpse of it.
I was going to say, we saw those 10 games and, like, as a Knicks fan, like, growing up, and remember it was, like, the whole big three was going to be Melo, Amari, and Chris Paul and all this shit. Like, that was the one dude who I was like, yo, if Melo plays with Chris Paul, like, it's over. It's over. And again, we saw those 10 games, and even just thinking about it, obviously the Suns are the 1 seed, and we'll talk a little Suns in a minute, but
because every team Chris Paul has went to, he's made better. If you think about it, the Thunder was in the hole. They ended up being in the bubble and going far. Houston.
Did they make the playoffs or no?
Yeah, they were in the playoffs. They played Houston in the first round. Yeah.
Yep.
If they wouldn't have got hurt that year, they played Golden State. I think they would have won. Because they were on a roll. So they would at least went to the finals.
I feel that.
All right, 2 Phoenix so far, Joe. What do you think, Phoenix, or you think somewhere else? Well, and don't just tell your answer, because I know we all are just trying to make DeMar happy and shit like that. But
well, for me, I have an East and a West.
All right,
pick. But the West, yeah, on my list it was Phoenix. So I think with Phoenix, they can better. We all know that Melo ain't the best defensive player, but they can hide him a little bit more better than other teams can. And they play team basketball. His boys there in CP3. You know what I'm saying? So that'd be a good fit for him. In the East, I think Miami, man. Miami, they play hella good defense, as we can see in game 1 against Atlanta. And again, they can hide Melo defensive, liabilities, whatever you want to call it. He can play on second unit off the bench and really come in and do his thing.
So for me,
huh?
Him and Tyler Hero off the bench.
Man, crazy.
That's
right
nice.
There. So I'm going with Miami, and then in the West, I like Phoenix as well, man.
All right, if you had to pick one, Joe.
Miami.
All right. Fair.
Miami.
2 Phoenix, 1 Miami. I think you all know what I'm going to say. Like, Phoenix, of course. Like, if we're talking about championship and, like, all this shit, now knowing what we know on April 18th, like, of course, it makes a ton of sense. But, like,
don't say it.
I still think to this day, if Melo was on this Knicks team, they would have been a way different fucking team, bro. One of the few things that they didn't have was one of those go-to scorers. Randall was he reverted back to year 1 on the Knicks. Randall, like, RJ did his thing, but like having one like a go-to scorer like that, and if their defense sucked this year, so if Melo did come back, they would have been like, oh, Melo comes back and look at the Knicks defense this year compared to last year. They would have started all that stupid shit. But man, if they had a go-to scorer down the stretch, they lost a lot of games because teams would just go on runs at the end of the fourth quarter, and like they couldn't do anything. Like they could try to play defense, but then when you have Julius Randle airballing mid-range shots, it's like it's not a good look. So
he's on the way.
I hope so. I fucking hope so.
Let me ask you this:
Milwaukee too, because Milwaukee they use shooters.
Absolutely,
they definitely use their shooters. Because Giannis, Giannis he takes 2 steps from the logo of the court and then he's at the rim. So
you ain't lying.
He just turn around and kick it out.
Yeah,
but they definitely use their shooters. So Milwaukee probably would have been a good fit too.
So you said Melo to the Knicks, and the Knicks won, I think, 37 games this year,
something like that.
So you think if this say for example, the Knicks added Melo, how many games would they have won this past season with Melo on the team?
Realistically, Steve,
are they a playoff team? Are they in play-in scenarios?
So they were 6 games behind the Hornets for the play-in.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do I think Melo makes a 6-game difference?
Mm-hmm.
With Thibodeau as the coach? Yes. And I'm not, and like, I know people are going to be like, no, you're a fucking homer, all this shit. But with Tibbs as a coach, utilizing Melo the way that I know he would, because he wanted Melo to go to Chicago and Melo's boy, Leon Rose, is the president. Like,
okay.
Who was it that came on here a few weeks ago? I forgot who it was. Somebody came on a few weeks ago and was like, yo, if Melo comes back to the Knicks, like, he has people in his corner, and you can't say that for many other organizations for him in the NBA. And like, I still think that would have happened this year. So, yeah,
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot Leon Rhodes was his old agent, and they got ties.
He was campaigning for it big last year too.
Yeah,
Off season, he was
that's
campaigning
a good
for
point.
it. So.
Along with us, we put up the fucking billboard. I didn't see Leon
Right.
Rose do no fucking do no billboard in Times Square, but
Facts.
All right, last interruption, because if you're watching or listening to the podcast for this long, you probably fuck with us. And if you fuck with us, you'll probably fuck with all the perks that you get from being a Control the Narrative member, whether that's access to our invite-only Discord where we're talking basketball all the time, or opportunities to join the next episode of Control. So whenever we need a guest, I go in our Discord, I say, yo, who's free? Who wants to hop on the next episode? And I pick from there. You get 20% off merch forever, and then you also get member exclusive merch, all by being a member. Tiers start at $2 a month. So if you fuck with us, go check out a membership, CTRLthenarrative.com, and I will see you in the Discord. All right, back to the show for good.
all right. We'll go to DeMar last on this one. So Kenny, we'll start with you. Let's talk a little NBA playoffs. We talked Melo, Lakers, all this shit throughout the whole season. Who's beating Phoenix Suns? Who's beating the Phoenix Suns this postseason? They seem to be the clear number one favorite in the East. Obviously, that there's teams in it like Golden State, and in the East there's plenty of good teams. But do you think there's anyone? Yeah, in both conferences, do you think there's anyone beating Phoenix this year? And if so, who?
I don't know, man. They play team ball, man. It's hard to beat a team that plays team ball the way they do, because it's like the first unit can kill you, or the second unit can come in, or they'll switch it up. They'll take one piece and add another piece. Take this piece out and add another one. Take two out and add two more. Like, it's the way they play and put things together, man. I don't know. It's just hard. As long as you got Devin Booker with the ball in his hands, it's crazy, man. And Chris Paul too. And you already know what he can do. Playoff time is like he goes to another level. And then you got the sleepers with Bridges. So it's like, I don't really see nobody. And they're coming back for vengeance from last year too. I don't think if they go to the finals, they're gonna be the same outcome as last year. I doubt that's gonna happen. I don't really see nobody beating them.
Joe?
For me, you know what, man? I'm gonna go with either Milwaukee or Miami. Can get a Suns a run for their money. Let's remember who won the championship last year. I'm not a fan of the Bucks, but they do play defense. A team that's going to beat Phoenix got to be a team that defends, right? Milwaukee and Miami defend, and we can get Milwaukee can beat them. It just depends, if they hit their shots. Giannis stay out of foul trouble, they can contend. I think for Miami, if they bench come through and makes them come up and step up a little bit, they can be a contender. But in the West, man, I think they got a clear path to the finals, man. Phoenix does. I don't see Utah. Golden State maybe, but Steph is not healthy 100%, and Clay, he been up and down since he came back.
Very inconsistent.
I don't know if I can this year, off the injury, can factor him in 100% to be that Clay we know of old. So I'm thinking Phoenix, the Western Finals, and in the East, either Milwaukee or Miami can contend with Phoenix.
All right, not mad at that. I'll go real quick before DeMar. Fair point to everything Joe just said, but I also think that they're just the perfect team. Like, from top to bottom, they have a point guard who gets his team involved. They have a center who can rebound the ball and play defense. They have Devin Booker, who's the go-to scorer. They have great wing defenders who can also shoot the three. Like, they just have everything. They have the head coach that, like, they're just such a perfect team from top to bottom. And, like, can Milwaukee beat, like, win? Of course they can. But I just don't see anybody beating Phoenix, especially because, like Kenny said, they lost last year. So you know that they're going to be back for a vengeance and that they took something out of the finals, you think. there's that clip of Devin Booker like looking off after the Bucks win and him going like, "Damn," and like I just feel like that's something we're gonna watch after the finals and they win to like a throwback of like, "Yep, now look a year later."
Mm-hmm.
So, DeMar, the floor is yours.
I think the team that beats the Phoenix Suns in the playoffs is the Phoenix Suns. I think they have everything they need to get it done. Last year, our biggest weakness was big man depth. I think sliding in JaVale McGee behind Ayton kind of really solidified what we do. I think Mikal Bridges taking a step up, Cam Johnson taking a step up, and Devin Booker continues to get better and better and better, and we already know what Chris Paul's going to do. I think the biggest thing that kind of is going to be the biggest detriment to us is kind of, unfortunately, might be ourselves. I think we last year, every round, every show, every minute, no one believed, right? So you constantly had that chip that, no, we're just going to prove y'all wrong. No, I know if Jamal Murray was healthy, I know that's the running joke in Phoenix if y'all didn't know that, but if Jamal Murray was healthy, world hunger would have ended. And if, Anthony Davis was healthy, everybody made excuses of why we did what we did. Like we weren't one game away from winning the best record in the NBA last year. So then this year we came back, won it by 7 games or more, right? And I think for us, it's really just going to come down to staying healthy. And then if we beat ourselves, now with the expectations on us. So we was playing with house money last year. We weren't getting the respect, getting the credit. No one expected us to do anything. Now we're supposed to win. We're supposed to go take it. And I think we have the team to do it.
So let me ask you this: like, what team out of the East you think is going to come out of the East to play you guys in the finals?
Selfishly, I want Milwaukee. Run it back.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be them.
I want Milwaukee. I want to run it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. When somebody takes something from you, you want to go take it back from them. You don't want somebody else to beat them, and then you got to take it from somebody else.
Right. It's not the same. Feeling not gonna be the same.
It's not the same. I would love for it to be in Milwaukee, and I would love to go take it from them.
Yeah.
Right. And I think my favorite part about everything happening in Phoenix is watching the NBA media have to change a little bit. Right. Like 2 weeks before the season ends. Now Devin Booker's MVP candidate, and everybody's on an apology tour when he's been putting up the same numbers all season. But now when you make it undeniable, they have to talk about you, and we can get past this whole the crazy part is, if I take the championship run away from the Lakers, they were the worst team in the NBA for the last 10 years. Winning percentage rise.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the name, people don't get talked about like that. They don't get looked at as a failing franchise. Let the Charlotte Hornets have a 5-year playoff drought. Michael Jordan's the worst GM in the world. Like Jeannie Buss ain't sitting over there in LA doing that.
True story.
Oh, he's getting that. Jordan getting that heat now.
It's been 10 years, dog.
Yeah, he's getting that now. They've been memeing him up since they lost. I've been seeing his face all over Instagram and Facebook with
who is that?
Crying emojis and saying like he shouldn't have.
Jordan.
Oh yeah. Charlotte.
Yeah. But if you let Milwaukee win and then Phoenix win back-to-back, when you built super teams in Brooklyn and, Golden State had their run, I think it's good for the NBA, man. It doesn't have to be, I'm sorry, Steve, it don't have to be in LA or New York to get it done. Like it's great if it is, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm hoping we get that this year, but I want it from Milwaukee.
Let me ask you another question. Like, other than themselves as a team, Suns holding them back and winning the chip, what are you most afraid of when it comes to that final matchup with whoever come out of the East? What scares you the most about Phoenix up against whoever? Is it anything?
Scares me the most?
Yeah. About the Phoenix team going in the finals.
You always have a fear of great players.
Yeah.
I mean, Giannis, like we saw in the finals last year, Giannis just took over and dominated. And what happened to us is it was the minutes that went from when Ayton had to go sit down.
Mm-hmm.
And
nobody could back him up.
We had no big depth.
Yeah.
And the drop-off was way too far because when it was all starters on the floor, the minutes it was almost kind of like we was playing to a draw. But then it was when Ayton got in early foul trouble because Giannis attacked him or things like that. That is what scares me the most.
Yeah.
And then coming out of the West too, like I'm not saying like we finna coast. That's not my thing.
Right.
I have supreme confidence, but Steph Curry's a little injured now coming off the bench. But we wouldn't have to see him to the Western Conference Finals, and Steph Curry pull up from the parking lot. So you just never know how he's feeling that day.
True story. Yeah.
Real quick on this last playoff prediction thing, let's get a Final Four from each of you.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Phoenix, Golden State in the West.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be Milwaukee and Philly in the East. Whoever has can go.
That's mine. And I think James Harden fails Philly. And that's why Milwaukee really beats them. I think it's going to come down. There's going to be 2 games that Philly should win, and Harden's going to fail them in final moments. And that's what's going to make Milwaukee win in 6.
Joe, you think Miami is going to be in that Final Four?
I like Phoenix and Golden State in the West, East, Miami, Milwaukee. Is that right? Yeah, the matchup.
Yeah, I think they're on opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Milwaukee. I like Miami.
Yeah, I had Miami, Milwaukee. Even though I live in Philly, it's the Sixers. It's Philly teams. Philly teams always let you down. So,
but isn't this Embiid different though, bro?
Huh?
I feel like this Embiid is on like another level.
Yeah,
he is, but I don't think Harden is.
You know what? Then again, you got to watch out for Maxey.
He fucking balled the fuck out that first game.
And then Tobias ain't get hot yet. Danny Green, but Tobias, Maxey, them two, they make a difference. And if Harden plays like Harden's supposed to,
right? If he doesn't perform like Harden or even close to that, they're not gonna do anything, B.
I'm always down for it.
Let me ask you a question. Are we just canceling out Brooklyn altogether?
No, I think Milwaukee. Milwaukee is such a good team, and Ben Simmons is such a big question mark, bro.
I think Brooklyn just can't defend.
True.
Yeah.
And that's where that's what makes it hard for me to believe in them. They can't stop nothing.
No.
I mean, look what happened last night. Kyrie got caught flat-footed, and then it's just I don't know if they could stop. They could stop anybody.
Yeah.
Now they could score with anybody.
And that's why we'll see what happens with Simmons.
They can't stop nothing. They have no go-to. Like, I just don't trust them to get a stop when they need it.
Let's say they somehow go to Game 7 and beat Boston, right, and move on to the next round. Simmons comes back Game 3, the second round, whatever it may be, and he gets somewhat acclimated to the team, whatever, and they make a run. With Simmons, no,
I don't think so. He didn't play basketball all year.
Still.
Yeah, and there's rumors about him coming back this round in like Game 4 or 5 or some shit.
I heard about that.
It depends how they use him. Like, if you're just going to use him to go stick the best defender and his role coming back is just solely to play defense, then it adds to your odds. But also, we're talking about somebody who ain't sat down and played defense in over a year.
True story.
You know what I mean? And
and you don't know where he's at mentally either.
You about to go lock somebody up and you got back issues? So either you faking back
issues.
I just don't know if that's really going to be.
And mentally, from him saying, like, he doesn't know where he's at and he doesn't want to play basketball yet and all this other stuff. Like, this is too much.
Yeah.
Like, you can't come in the playoffs with that dumb shit. Like,
and that dude that you guarded in practice, that Brooklyn Nets assistant, is not these dudes you about to go out here.
Right, exactly.
Like, that Brooklyn, like, if you come out in the first round, Jason Tatum look a lot different.
You ain't lying,
man. Wearing
these teams, they're gonna shut down that
quarter zip.
They're gonna shut that drive to the basket stuff down. They definitely ready for that because they know you can't shoot. Yeah. You're afraid to shoot, so they're gonna let you shoot it. You might make 1 or 2, but they're gonna lock that, going drive to the basket, dunking on everybody. They know what that's.
True. Yeah.
I think next year though they're gonna unlock Ben Simmons.
They're gonna be good.
We're about to see Ben Simmons become the new
Draymond
Green. That's gonna be his role. He's just gonna be the younger. He's gonna be the Brooklyn Nets Draymond Green, man. Like, we don't care about you scoring. We got those 2 over there.
Yeah.
You gonna defend everybody and everything, and then you gonna pass and facilitate for us, and then grab these boards, and then give the ball to.
They're gonna be yes sir.
That's a great comparison. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons to Draymond.
That's what he's best. They've been trying to force him to be like this LeBron James style point guard. That's not what he's best at. If you just let him be the third person on the team, let him be Draymond Green, you're about to see. I think next year, Steven, you're about to see the best out of Ben Simmons. If his mind is right. Now, that all depends on Ben.
Yeah.
But if they just let him be the younger, just more athletic Draymond Green, he's going to flourish. We're going to be talking next year. Ben Simmons is an all-star at this time, averaging 12, 9, and 9.
Yep. I agree with that.
You know what else? Next year, hopefully, Carmelo Anthony is making more postseason memories.
What team? Which team?
Hopefully, it's at the Garden.
I knew that was coming. I was waiting on that.
Joe, we'll start with you on this one. Last question. So far in the 19 years that Melo's been in the league, and I think he's made the playoffs 14 times. I might be making that up. What has been your favorite Melo postseason moment, and why? Is it Kobe 09 or is it something else?
For me, man, I'm gonna go more recent. I'm gonna go Bubble Melo Portland, because man, but especially it's not really postseason; it's play-in material. But play-in material, postseason Melo with hitting clutch shot to clutch shot versus Memphis and whoever, he was big time, man. Especially coming off a year when you didn't play, you was blackballed in the league. You come back, you play that season, and then you come into the bubble, and you hit big shot after big shot to get you into the playoffs. That was huge, man. That was so big for him, his legacy. I think as a Hall of Famer that he is right now. So I think the Melo from the play-in tournament and moving forward, even against the Lakers, they played in the first round after that play-in scenario.
Yep.
Was good. And even Melo in 2013 against Boston, because prior to that, they hadn't made a playoff. They hadn't won out of the first round in a long ass time.
13 years, yeah.
Right. And to see him come across Paul Pierce, the Truth, and KG and get a first round win, and he balled out that series, that was big, man. For me, that's that on my mind as the more recent, the Bubble Melo, and then KG Paul Pierce tournament run.
Those are good ones. DeMar and I watched that play-in game together. We did this one shit on Control where I was like watching the game live, and DeMar joined me, and my guy Kyle joined me.
That's dope right there.
And Vic always yells at me. He's like, "Yo, you got to do some shit like that, like post game or like watch a game or some shit like that." And we haven't done it since. That was 2 years ago, but
wasn't that dope though to see him make big shot after big shot?
Of course.
Especially against Memphis, man, he was.
It was
killing
crazy
that
because
game.
I was like 15 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, DeMar goes like this.
Camera up to my face, and I'm trying not to like make like gestures, and I'm just kind of like.
That was good shit. And DeMar goes like this, and I'm like, "What?" And then like 15 seconds later, Melo hits a three, and my collar like, "Let's fucking go." That was fun as fuck. Maybe we'll do some shit like that again.
No doubt, man.
Yeah.
DeMar, what about you?
We gotta just do it like a toast up party just to celebrate him leaving the Lakers when it happens.
Yeah, he gotta get out of there.
Yeah, we're just gonna do a Zoom call happy hour with everybody.
Yeah. Just leaving the Lakers / coming back to New York. That's gonna be lit.
Hey, I'll take it. Just get out of there. Get away from LeBron right now.
Yeah, I know. DeMar, what's your favorite Melo postseason memory?
I'm kind of on the same boat. I think the bubble and the Portland Lakers series, and I think for the reasons that it shows you that Melo's game still plays in the playoffs. And like I think as fun as the regular season is when it's run and done, run and gun, high pick and roll to a three, to a putback dunk or a lob, once you get to the playoffs and the game slows down a little bit, we get into the half court, that is his main skill set. And I think about that game, maybe it was game 5 when he put up 27 and 7.
Yep.
Against the Lakers in that first round.
Oh yeah.
But it was catching the ball on the block. You know what I mean? It's back down, turn around. It's easy money. It's guaranteed almost every time. And just when he showed his game still plays, even at this age and at this level.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's good, man. That's money right there.
Kenny?
Just think about that, man. The Lakers didn't do that, man. They could have been doing that all season. They need to man the ball. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
So frustrating, man.
No comment.
Not saying that, this season would have turned out differently, but like it couldn't have gotten any worse. So like they had fucking nothing to lose. But
nope.
Whatever. Kenny, what's been your favorite Melo postseason memory?
When him and AI played San Antonio.
Damn, that's a fucking good one.
Them two, man, it was going off. Melo was crossing people over, dunking on them. Like that was crazy. And then also, I was working at Foot Locker when he hit the shot against Dallas. And like everybody's like texting me yo, you see your boy, your boy's going crazy. Because I was the biggest Melo fan. Like everybody knew that came to Foot Locker knew. Anytime Melos was coming out, they put my size 12 to the side because they knew I was the only person buying Melos, and everybody knew. It was because I actually met his the manager. He came in the store too, and we did like they set him aside for me and him to talk too. So that was cool too. But yeah, they knew I was the biggest Melo fan. So I'm at work like trying to help people. And they like telling me, yo, you should have seen it. I'm like, y'all know I can't see it. Like I'm working right now. But that was another one. Denver.
Yeah,
played,
game winner.
They played Dallas, the game winner.
Fire. Yeah, I think the bubble one is obviously one of the most recent ones with the play-in and what he did versus the Lakers in the first round. I think a lot of people go default to the Kobe 09 series, which fair enough. Like obviously furthest he's gone in his career. But for me, I think there was one specific moment that always stands out in my mind where it was 2013 second round versus the Pacers. And I'm not going there, so don't, for people who fucking had something in their brain right now, that's not where the fuck I'm going. I'm going with, there was a dunk he had on Jeff Pendergraph, I think was the dude's name, at home at MSG. And the camera shifted to Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing's in the crowd like this, like hyping Melo up. And I just thought it was like sort of like a passing of the torch moment where like Ewing was hoping Melo was going to be able to do what he was never able to do and bring New York a championship. And obviously live in New York, I'm a Knicks fan and all that shit. So that moment for me was so special where Melo dunked it. The crowd's going crazy. Patrick Ewing's fist pumping in the crowd. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, not they're going to win the championship because of that, but like, imagine if they do. Like, how much that would fucking mean to so many people. So for me, it like just gave so much hope. And that's one that always sticks out.
That's the stuff that gives you chills, though. When there's something 100%. Like that like you see how much it means to people and everybody's faces and things like that. That's when you get your best moments, man.
Yeah, you're lying.
100%. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I just said, especially with somebody like Pat Ewing, a Hall of Famer, who's a Knicks legend. Yeah. Catch that moment with him, you know what I'm saying? And that photo in that moment, that's big.
Yeah. And my second moment I was going to say was the one that Kenny just said, the game winner versus Dallas in the second round in 2009. My friend Chris said this. That was a moment where a lot of people kind of took Melo seriously for the first time. It was like, all right, you've never been out of the first round. Now you're in the second round. He hits a game-winning three. The Nuggets were a great team. And I think that three put them up 3-0. I might be mistaken. Because obviously it was in Dallas and the Nuggets had home court. So I think that three put them up 3-0. And it was like the first time I feel like where people were like, holy shit. All right, we might have to like seriously look out for the Nuggets and this Melo guy. Like this might actually be something.
That was when last year, round one against the Lakers, that was when people started to think about Devin Booker differently. Because they show him pulling up the Staples Center in the old school. And then he hopped out and just dropped 38 on them to send them home, hit 6 threes. Like, that was when people started looking like, okay, maybe it's not just CP3. You know what I mean? Because Devin Booker pulled up, showed out, and started. And that was to send the Lakers home when they was talking after, everybody wanted to clown Jay Crowder. And then that was the salsa game, and we got to get up out of there before it got crazy. But that's kind of when people started taking Devin Booker seriously. Not the Suns officially yet, but that's when like things started to change around Devin Booker's name.
The narrative.
Yeah.
Devin Booker, he been serious for a minute though, because in the bubble, like for him to make that
people try to run
like
around
that?
like Donovan Mitchell on Devin Booker's level, man.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. The bubble, like, here's a perfect example. The bubble, they told us it was cute, right? We have the second best record in the NBA last year. They said, yeah, but everybody was hurt. Then we go to the playoffs. You make it to the finals. They're like, okay, well, AD was hurt. Jamal Murray was hurt. For some reason, we're the only team and the only playoff run that just people got injured. It's just never happened before. You know what I mean? Until we started playing. But yeah, it was that game 6 last year in LA. That's when they started to take Devin Booker seriously.
Yeah, I think this year, man, I think the Phoenix Suns, and more importantly, Devin Booker, going to put people on notice that he going to be here to stay for a long time. The man's clutch. He's hungry, here to prove a point. He gonna put a show on this playoffs. Just watch.
Agree.
I feel that.
Yeah, man. And last thing on this, it's crazy how a player is labeled a losing player when their team around them sucks. And then when they get good teammates, all of a sudden the narrative around them changes. It's weird how that happens, how one player can't win a championship and, is labeled this losing player. It's crazy how that happens. Just wanted to add that in real quick. My guys, I'm struggling over here. Muting myself every 2 seconds to blow my nose and shit. So I appreciate you guys for kind of carrying the episode for sure this time. But before I let you three go, I want to give you the floor to control a narrative. Doesn't have to be Melo related. Doesn't have to be basketball related. Doesn't even have to be sports related. So whoever has one can go, but I will give you the floor to control a narrative.
Well, I will go. Screw it.
Go ahead, Joe.
My narrative is, if Melo is listening, which he's probably not, I'm going to say it anyway. I want you to get out of LA, get away from the Lakers. If you want to win a chip, it's the goal. It's to win a championship. Go to either Phoenix or Miami, right? If you want to retire next year, the next 2 years, come to Brooklyn or the Knicks. I think that should be your thought process moving forward. Chip or legacy or retirement. You can be a mentor to the young guys, whatever you want to be, and then score a lot of points. But either one or the other, a clear path. Miami, Phoenix, or Brooklyn. That's it. Thanks for having me.
And last point on that, to your point, is he'll probably have roles on that team, on either of those three teams, like he didn't have in LA. Just saying.
Yep.
I got one. If effort is the problem, then you have to look at leadership and not just the coach. If lack of effort is the problem, then you kind of got to look in your locker room and see what the leadership is looking like. You can't just blame the coach.
Yeah.
You thinking about a specific team when you're saying that tomorrow? Or?
Yeah, somebody just yeah. There's a lot of finger pointing going around, but I've seen people not get back on defense for 4 straight possessions. I've seen people give up 10 points a game on backdoor cuts. At some point, leadership has to be addressed, right? Like, it should be questioned.
You remember that video? It was against Phoenix. It was in Phoenix, where it was 4 straight possessions. Where is that what you're talking about? Where LeBron didn't even cross half court and
or when he walked out when his team was getting beat by 30. And that's what made them clowning on the bench so funny, because they was clowning on the bench, they was doing all that, and everybody, when he was up faking doing all that, but you're the same guy that walked out on your team when he was down by 30 and there's 6 minutes left to go. Where you going? Like, it's a leadership issue. So
that's a fair point, B. That's a fair point. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. Kenny, you got a narrative you want to control?
I don't have nothing. Can't combine neither one of those.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough, man. You want to control any narratives around James Harden or Embiid or Mitchell and us in Philly, or you should?
All Philly people are not bad. Everybody is not the same. I'm trying to control the narrative that everybody in Philly is not the same of what you see on TV. I mean, it's dangerous down here because, everybody just shooting is crazy here. I don't know why, but body counts is crazy. But everybody's not the same. And
all right, Kenny, I'll control the narrative for you. Philly traffic is as bad, if not worse, than New York and LA.
Worse than Chicago?
You know what? I will control the potholes in Philadelphia. That's what I need to control, because there's so many here. I'm going to need an alignment. I'm going to send the city my alignment bill, because that's what I'm going to need after driving through the streets of Philadelphia.
I was in Philly last month, and I don't know. I used Google Maps. I said, "Take me as quick as you can." It took me about 50 minutes to go through the fucking city. I was in like the heart of the city. I was ready to kill myself. It was really fucking bad. New York traffic is bad. Obviously, LA traffic is bad. Obviously, but Philly's is really bad too.
So I would have told you what time to move around.
Yeah,
certain time periods.
Next time I know. But anyway, it's a whole big story. I was there for a Bad Bunny concert with my girl, and we were in a rush, so it is what it is. But Joe, DeMar, Kenny, always appreciate you guys for coming on.
Absolutely.
Sure. Thank you.
And chopping it up. I hope you all have a great night, and will be very interesting. DeMar, good luck the rest of the postseason.
Yes, sir. We'll tap back in and see what happens.
Absolutely.
I need that Valley jersey. I need a Valley jersey.
I got you.
Might have to send you a cash app. Hey Joe, I forget about your poster either. I just been kind of busy.
Oh, it's all good, B.
I got you.
Whenever, yo. Appreciate you.
Joe, this Kenny DeMar connection is a little dangerous. I don't know if we should have made this connection.
I mean, he got Phoenix. I got Mitchell, and that's here. So I mean,
yeah, we about to go crazy.
That's all right. I'm
surprised y'all see his background next time we get on here.
Yeah.
Oh, nice see yours. He finna get on. He finna get on point now.
I just had to pull all the photos down because they're getting reframed, but they'll probably be up next time.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. Have a great night, everyone.
All right, my guys. Y'all be safe, B.
One.